What's going on, guys? So now I'm getting ready to go ahead and do the suspension job and the CV axle on this 2012, I believe it is a 2012 Honda Civic. If I can get to the CV axle, and the reason why we're doing it, if I can show it on camera right there. As you can tell, this has been seeping for a while. Hasn't gotten to the point where it's making a sound, a ticking sound or whatever, but bad enough that it definitely needs to be replaced, I believe. Owner opted to replace the shocks as well. I'm not sure if we needed that, but we bought some new shocks from Rock Auto. Quick Stress by Monroe. Part numbers. One of them and the other. So, and also what I was hoping to do is to be able to show you the play in the steering rack. I'm not sure if I can replicate it without actually using the steering itself. No, I'm not that strong. That's not going to happen. Unfortunately, all I could do is probably check all of the fasteners to the rack and make sure they bolted properly. I know it's moving for sure. I've seen it move on the other side. Let me go on the other side, in fact. And maybe we can see something on this side, but again, there's definitely something loose that needs to be tightened. Oh, I could see it clearly as day. Yeah, that bolt is loose. Now, can we see it on camera? It's a different situation, but we're gonna try it. Let's put the camera right on there. And I'm trying to get you as good a shot as I could. All right, let's focus on this bolt right here. You see the gap to the right side between the bolt and the rack? You see that gap? And that's why. If I stick a pry bar under the rack, I can lift it up right now. There's that type of gap. Now, does it have a nut, a counter hole or something at the bottom? I gotta check that and see. Not sure. I don't look like it does. I don't see any, so it's just a blind hole. How did it come loose? I'm not sure, but we're gonna have to tighten that stuff up. So, but at least I'm glad I was able to get you a shot there. Definitely, you can look at it. There's a gap between the bolt and the rack, and we're gonna go and tighten that up. Solve that clunking noise, and we're gonna give you an after shot. Of course, I gave you the before already. All right, let me go ahead and start. The cowling is not necessary for you to remove it. Obviously, you can gain access to this little access hole. This is the cover for it. Let me zoom actually out so I give you a better look at it. So this would be the cover for the access hole. You just pop it out, and then you can see all three fasteners. One in the back there, one right here close to you, and one over there. You could definitely get to them without removing this entire cowling. That's what I'm going to attempt to do. Alright guys, so this is just like I said, a simple quick start job, nothing to it. They all look the same. Let me go ahead and get this done, and I'll get you back with me here once we got something interesting to show, maybe. If not, we'll just give you an after shot and make sure the clunk is gone and the car's ready to go back to the customer. Alright, so this is after I'm through tightening the bolt, so hopefully it'll show. But now it's flush. See, before you had that gap, and now it's all flush. I don't want to go too much more. I mean, this, even though it's a big bolt, but there's also always a chance of stripping something. Only God knows why it wasn't all the way in. This vehicle was in a car accident before, but again, it's just the fact that it was a salvage vehicle. I'm not sure. So basically stopped where I felt like it was safe, and hopefully takes care of the noise. So now I'm going to go and replace the shock on this side, and that's about it. All right, guys. So customer complaint, ABS light is on, and this is after an accident. So the car was hit, as you can see, pretty good there. Replaced a few parts, but this is what I noticed. You know, that's the ABS, or the speed sensor, wheel sensor. And you have two wires, a black and a white wire. The white wire is completely gone. The black wire is still kind of there. So instead of replacing this entire speed sensor, we're just going to fix it. So I'm going to put a bridge between this point and that point, and I'm going to wrap it up in some electrical tape, and it should work. All right, so using that stuff right there, which is a butane, basically soldering iron. This one made by Dremel. Doesn't cost much because you're on the field. So, but if you're at home and you can hook up to the outlet, you can just use the regular soldering iron. So anyway, now I'm going to do the other side. Not the prettiest, but basically it's there, and it's not going to come off. We're going to do the same thing up here, then we're going to wrap it up in tape. Make sure that side and this side do not touch each other. So we're going to wrap this one individually first, make sure it's completely protected from the other one so we don't create a short circuit. As you can see, I wrapped them individually, and now I'm going to wrap the whole wire together. And as you can see, I put the electrical tape around it and a zip tie, so now it's not going anywhere. No stress on the wire, and that's about it. Now it should work. Simple fix. Alright, so 2002 Toyota Camry, black and pinion job. Just was able to take it out after about an hour and a half. And the reason being, this is a car from up north. You can tell by the rust. And this was a nightmare to get off. That's one. These two lines were very difficult to get off. I mean, really tough coming out. Not easy at all. The whole way they fought me. What else? These bolts were seized up. Same thing. You know, the anchor bolts. So yeah, you know, up north car, bunch of bull crap. But anyway, the symptoms on this car, on this rack and pinion, was when you turn the wheel, it has some dead spots, and that's the only way I can explain it to you. Meaning it'll get soft and hard, soft and hard. So this guy, before he came to me, took it to a shop, and they did the flush on the power steering fluid. So power steering is not making any noise. When you open the reservoir, you can see the fluid flowing. There is no bubbles and nothing coming out. So you know, in my opinion, it was a rack and pinion. So once I disconnected the lines and everything else, but the line's not connected anymore, and I tried to turn the wheel, and I was still experiencing the same, you know, soft and hard. You know, that was confirmation for me. But we got a steering rack from the record yard. So this is it. Comes with a new, you know, the yoke is there. I mean, this is probably a Texas vehicle. You can see very minimal rust everywhere. There's a little bit of seepage there. I'm not sure as a result of whatnot, but you know, hey, the customer knew what he was getting into. I told him about the used parts, so he didn't want to buy a new one. It's not worth it for him. So we're gonna go ahead and try to, you know, put that in there. I'm gonna take some deep sockets and just run this out, and yeah, we're gonna probably use this yoke because I'm pretty sure it's going to be in a better state than the one I just took out. I mean, it's a nightmare to get it off of there. Nightmares job. Really hated it, every second of it. Anyhow, all right guys, so car is back together. Rack and pinion job looks successful, and our diagnosis was correct, thank God. So the new used rack is smooth. No hesitation, no jerking, no nothing. This is a bit overfilled, but not the biggest deal. Just barely above the max line. So far, no leaks or nothing like that. So I'm about to go and set it on the ground now. I already bled the system, and as you can see now, no issue, no hesitation, no nothing, just smooth like it should be. All right, so job successful. Hopefully another happy customer. So we need to replace the alternator. I'm not going to go through a diagnosis of this alternator, only because I know it's been done. There's better videos than that on YouTube. Advanced Level did a very good video lately about these smart alternators, and I think anybody can refer to that video if you want to know how to diagnose this type of alternator. If you want to go all the way before you put a new one in, I would advise that. As far as I'm concerned right now, I'm just going to go and possibly remove this alternator right now, only because we are in the shade at this time. It's about 7 p.m., 7:30 p.m. and I gotta come back tomorrow in the hot sun and trying to do this job. So I'm just trying to at least get this done today, so tomorrow all I have to do is just fit the new one in, put everything back together, and it'll save me some of the pain of being under the sun. The Texas sun is very, very hot, as you may know. All right, so never done, I don't think I've done alternator job on this particular vehicle, because the nature of the fan, the way it's set up, is not going to be like the previous generation. So I think by just removing that, the power steering, and setting it aside, that should be enough for us to go ahead and do this job, because taking out the fan is going to just require a whole lot of stuff that I don't want to get into. So hopefully, like I said, by removing just the power steering pump, I'll have enough room to pop this alternator out of there. So I'll just take some more shots of it, once I get deep in it, and let you know what I find and what's feasible. Another thing is, to gain access even to the tensioner on this car is a stupid design when it comes to that. No room at all to get to where this thing is. So it's just not the easiest thing to do, honestly. Honda made sure you got all kinds of room in the back. Look at that. But everything is crammed up in the front, which I don't understand why, but it is what it is. Let's do it. Okay guys, so I think now I have a good access to the alternator after removing half the freaking car. If you watch my videos on previous CRVs of the same generation from 2007, and you saw how I replaced the fan, that radiator fan there. So that's the same process. You're going to remove the cross member here. And of course I have to do this just to gain access to the tensioner, because it's a pain in the butt. Remove a bolt right there to kind of loosen this line right here. So you're going to need it to kind of move it up to have this one pass underneath it, right? Remove one line, make sure you have your paper towel so you don't make a big mess. And here we go. So now we have plenty of access to the alternator right there. We got one bolt on top, 12 millimeter, and two at the bottom. I think you can kind of see that one of them is kind of right. Anyhow, you can feel for it. Right now it's really, really easy access. Hopefully now, I think I'm going to remove that Christmas fastener right there to kind of give me some more slack on this engine harness here, or this wiring harness. And that should be it, man. This was a pain in the ass, I ain't gonna lie. It could have been a much better design, but you know what? Doesn't matter. The longer we take, the customer has to pay for it. Alright, it's been extracted. Just like I showed you just now before the shot. That's what I had to do, because I couldn't find a good way to put my socket onto the bolts at the lower end. I'm pretty sure somebody may try to do it from, I don't know if there's any other way that's like really efficient way to do it without going through too much headache. So this was my way. I had to remove the fan again. All of this bracketry up top that you can see, one of them is right there, the other one's right there. All of that have to come off to give you this type of play. This has to come off to kind of give you a little bit play. Remove the fan. Once the fan is out, then you got all kinds of room. So and of course that also. Yeah. Well, so far I've been here for maybe about an hour and 10 minutes altogether to take this out. Granted, I don't have my regular tool because I did not expect to actually do this today. So all of my ratcheting wrenches, the long ones that I use all the time, I didn't bring them today, so definitely kind of slowed me down, especially taking the belt off, because usually I use my 14 ratcheting wrench and it's like a breeze. I don't even have to take the tire off. Once I jack it up enough to crawl under the car, it's long enough to do this. But unfortunately, like I said, I did not bring those tools because I did not expect to do any of these things. I was really basically coming to get the key from the customer, and I decided, you know what, tomorrow's going to be hot. I'm not sure if this job's going to take a while. I don't want to be under the heat for that long. So all in all, that's what it is, about 100 and, like I said, 10 minutes to 110 minutes, hour 10 minutes to get here. So probably a little bit less to bolt it back together once I'm done tomorrow. But that's about it, man. Not a fun job, I will say that. It's a pesky job, but whatever. What's up, guys? This is the next day. Bright and sunny, but not too hot, because we do have some clouds occasionally, so kind of cool. I'm just trying to run through this really quickly before the sun really gets hot. And so yeah, I got the brand new alternator. Cost about $200. So without wasting too much time, I'll just update you as I go along, but I'm gonna have to hurry up here. Okay, guys, everything is put back together, gave it a jump. So yeah, car is running smooth, battery is charging, the battery light is out, and gone, so we're good. Oh man, oh man, oh man. So that's the 2006 CRV. And I'm trying to put on a serpentine belt. And I'll tell you what, if this is not the most frustrating belt I ever had to put on in my life, and I've seen some frustrating serpentine belt jobs, but this is by far the most aggravating job. This is the old belt. It's not that bad. It just has a small tear somewhere. Something like that, like a minor or something like that. And it has one on the edge of it too. So anyway, long story short, I went online and I bought this one. And it fits my car supposedly. It's supposed to be good quality Continental, but boy, oh boy, oh boy, I have tried. I mean, everything's short of just screaming right now, because this is insane. The amount of aggravation that I got to go through with this belt just to try to put it on. Right now you see my long ratcheting wrench. I got it tied up to some zip ties onto the CV shaft to maintain some tension while I'm trying to at least route the belt properly, and then I put some tension on it myself. And at this rate, I'm surprised this tension is still even, I haven't broken it yet. I mean, it's insane. I don't know what's going on. Now this one will go back on for some reason, and I laid them out, both of them together. They look to be the same exact size, but for some reason this one right here, it oh my goodness, yeah. So, whew. And I was doing an AC compressor job on the car right there. That's the new AC compressor, and that's the reason why I took it out. So that's why you don't see the light on and everything else, just to gain access to the tensioner from this side. But I don't wish this on anybody, man. This is just horrible design. I mean, Honda, you dropped the freaking ball on this design. No doubt about that. So let me go ahead and try a few more times. If it doesn't succeed, I'm just going to put the old one back. And I guess return this one to Rock Auto, because this is, I mean, I'm beyond frustrated. I've been here for at least an hour for just a drive belt. Boy. So if somebody's wondering why AC job costs so much, especially when you go to a professional shop, because they have warranty clauses that they got to abide by. One of them is they have to replace all of the components, especially if you had like a major failure to where maybe you have metal sharpenings or sharpenels, metal shavings throughout the system. And one of the key components they got to replace is going to be the expansion valve. On this vehicle, which is a 2006 Honda CR-V, in order to get to the expansion valve, you have to remove all of this. We're talking about, this is the HVAC unit that's in there, well, half of it. The other half is still in the car. To get to that, of course, I'm not going to give you a play-by-play. It's a daunting task that I don't wish on anybody, not even a professional. But anyway, it's feasible. If you have time and you have the tools, you get to it. But that there, that's why we did all of this, to get to the expansion valve right there in the middle of the screen. And the evaporator core, for some reason, looks pristine for something that's this old. So I don't think I have a need to replace that at all. I'm just going to replace the expansion valve because I got a new one. And this will be also a time to go ahead and blow inside of here, make sure all the leaves are gone. This is what the filter looked like. So definitely this is getting replaced. Yeah, so I'm keeping the trays. So yeah, I've done the same job on the 2007 CR-V, but it was a lot simpler because you didn't have the computer in the way and everything else. But this one was a, oh man, yeah. So definitely not a play-by-play. My advice, if you don't need to replace this part, don't even attempt it. Only go ahead and try it if you really have to replace it, and that has to be diagnosed by a professional to let you know that the expansion valve has failed, or the other scenario would be that you have found metal shavings in the system, and then you have to flush out the lines and everything else. Then you have no choice. But this job definitely, with the condenser and the compressor all together, I can see where it could cost you over $1,000 parts and labor in the shop. No doubt about it, and it's worth it too. All right, guys, let me go ahead and to remove it now. I got to go in the engine bay. It's just a 10mm bolt hooked up to those lines. We're gonna take it out, take this one out. I mean, really doesn't look bad, but of course, looks can be deceiving. So I will yank out the evaporator, do a visual inspection. This car, I just bought it like not too long ago, and the AC wasn't working to begin with. The AC compressor blew up like they usually do on the CR-Vs. Everybody knows that. That's the main Achilles heel for this car. So I'm not sure what's in the line, because this car's been sitting for maybe a couple of years, as the owner told me. So I decided to go ahead and just replace the entire system, because a job like this, you don't want to do it twice. So once you're here, make sure whatever needs to be replaced as you're here, man, go ahead and do it, and just save yourself this heartache and never having to come back here to tweak anything else. So, all right, enough talking. And go ahead and take that out and take the evaporator car and inspect it. If it is in good shape, we'll leave it alone, because that's definitely a Honda product. I'm not going to throw away aftermarket here for no reason. This evaporator core that I know of is not known to be a failure item on this car at all. So I don't feel the need to mess with it. There's no leak in it. Leave it alone. There he goes. So just visual inspection. I don't see anything wet around it. I don't see anything. Damn it, I can't even speak. I don't see anything questionable. Okay, now when it comes to the lines, you can see some black stuff right here at the line. I don't know if it'll show, but there's definitely some black stuff right there. So, but either way, I'm gonna get some I can't speak for nothing right now. I've been here for too long. But anyways, I'm gonna get some AC flush, and we're gonna flush out the evaporator core, the lines, yeah, all the lines and the evaporator core will be flushed completely clean, and then after that we'll mount the new expansion valve, and we're going to reuse these foam pad that they put on there. I'm not sure for what reason they do it, but I'm going to definitely put them on a new one, because they don't usually come with these, the new ones. So I'll do that, but I'm going to keep this evaporator core. It doesn't look like there's anything wrong with it. I don't see anything funky, anything suspicious about it. it looks pristine to me, so I'm just gonna leave it alone. Alright guys, it's probably gonna be done tomorrow because it's already 6:10. I think the stores are closed, the one that I go to at least, to get my parts. So that's gonna be tomorrow until I can get my hands on the rest of these items. So we're just gonna put everything back up, and it's about it till tomorrow. I'm tired, man. This was crazy. The belt took all my energy. That drive belt was a sucker. What's going on, guys? So we're back. This is the next day. Still at the CRV. I went ahead and dropped the fan, the blower motor, because I just want to, you know, kind of blow out everything that's old leaves and everything else. We got ourselves some parts right there. No air filter. Got some AC flush and all that stuff. And I got that right there that I bought about 2-3 weeks ago from Harbor Freight. And the purpose for this, if you watch some, well, maybe I didn't make a video yet, but this is basically, I bought it for mainly if I needed to flush out lines. So because before I didn't have a compressor, I would have to go to my friend's shop, and that was a waste of my time. So for this to be a very portable, and I'll show it to you just one-handed, really no big deal. That's about 20 pounds or less. So yeah, and the design is really well made. It's well balanced. When you handle it, it's balanced. It's not like, you know, cocked to one side where it's a strain on you. You know, for the purpose of what I'm using it for, perfect. Now, this is not going to be good for air tools or none of that other stuff. So if that's what you need, don't get that. Some people use it for nail guns and stuff like that. My personal use is going to be just to blow out leaves. Say I'm working on something, I'm trying to take it in, take out, and I need to just blow out some leaves just to kind of clear stuff. This is what you're going to have. If I need to blow out my AC line, same thing. So that's the purpose for me buying this thing right here. It saves me time driving all the way to my friend's shop, which is back and forth maybe an hour depending on how busy he is. So time is money. Okay, so let me go ahead and hook up my hoses that I bought from Harbor Freight 2. It costs about 14 bucks or less. The whole assembly, all kinds of stuff come with it. Once I hook this up now, it's already charged up. Then we're gonna come back and see how we're gonna blow out these lines. I'm gonna show you. Now this is supposed to be brand new, but of course it's a cheap quality. Even though I got the plumber's tape on it, it is still leaking, you know. So this is just a cheap device, meaning this glum right here. Again, the whole kit costs 14 bucks, so you get what you pay for. All right, that's clean. I put the blower back in. Make sure everything is squeaky clean inside of there. So that's the first item. Actually, I should have put the filters in. Actually, we're gonna do that now. Alright, this is part number right here. But this brand, I'm not sure is available to you guys. Sold by XL Parts. That's the in-house brand, Pronto. Just look what they say when it says airflow going down. So right there, the arrows are there, pointing down. So make sure this is pointing down. So that's that. Alright, so now careful here. You see these two things right here. Sorry about the compressor noise there. Just note the orientation. You got the tab right here, you got the tab on this side. This one goes in first because you have to be able to extract it at some point. So right there, all the way down. Once you're down, then you move it to the side there, all the way. Right on. You see it right there protruding? Good. Same thing for this one. And that's about it. Then we're gonna put the door, and that should be it. But this is the easier way to do it while it's out of the car. It's a lot easier. This is leaking a lot, like I said. This, you know, but it is what it is. Let me set up now. We're gonna grab our flush, which is right there, and we're gonna grab these. Should have used this gun. Actually, it's probably a little bit better than that one. But anyway, so we're gonna open this up. We're gonna pour the flush inside of here. Okay. Let me go ahead and do that. All right, so we got set up, not without a hitch, because some of it was leaking. now we opened up all the way. I'm gonna test it with this first line here before I go inside the cabin. As you see, look at down there. See that? Alright. So I'm cool with that one line. Now I'm gonna go inside the cabin, inside the car. I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do. Let me pause it. Next item is gonna be the evaporator core. Get a better setup. This is I'm kind of crazy right now only because I'm trying to get you a shot, but get a better setup. Alright, so now we're gonna blow it inside one of the holes, the lines, and hopefully it comes out. Okay, now it's coming out the other side. Alright, now we're gonna back pressure. Do it this way now. There you go. There you go. I think I'm good there. After we're done, we're going to just shoot some compressed air in it. Make sure everything is dry. Alright, let's refill this one because we're about to run out. So, cut it off here. Take this off, fill it up. What's going on, guys? As you can see, I've basically hooked up the lines at the compressor, the condenser, and the evaporator core. But I still got everything else out because we need to make sure we have no leaks before we can put things back together. So right now we're just drawing a vacuum. It drew pretty fast, so that's encouraging. So at least hopefully we don't have nothing major going on. But yeah, so far that's what it did. This is the reason why I'm waiting to put the HVAC back. I need to be sure that nothing crazy is going on here. And after that, we can go ahead and put everything back together. Alright, bro. I'm update you as we go. Alright, this is after 11 minutes. So we're gonna let it sit there for about 5 minutes. That'll give us a pretty good indication if we have a fairly good seal. And after that, of course, I can go ahead and put back everything, because then we're really done with this. It's just now a matter of vacuuming it for another half hour or so, and after that you just charge it up. Thermostat removal on the 2.4 Chrysler engine, which is in a lot of different variation, Avenger, Chrysler 200, and maybe other applications. So very easy. Take the air box, that's one bolt right here. Then you take the little Christmas fastener right here, that's on the air intake, and it's just one connector going to the temperature sensor right here, and then you yank it out because it's just sitting in the grommet. So once that's out, you take the intake tube right there out too. It's just one 8mm the clamp from the throttle body. Dispose of that. And then you got access right there to 1 and 2 bolts right there to the thermostat. Pretty easy. So we go ahead and let's see if I can one-hand it. I didn't drain the coolant. You can drain the coolant if you want. I guess my bucket is right underneath here. It's gonna spill. I don't care. Do whatever you want. Alright, cool. So halfway so it doesn't get too cocked. Another one. Good shot there. Something wrong with this. That's just spinning and not spinning out. Oh my God, problems. Alright, what it means is the housing, the bolt in the housing is spinning freely instead of that. Look at that in the back there. I don't know if you can see it, but it is plastic, well, not plastic, but a metal piece that's supposed to be stationary in the back, but it's spinning. I'm not sure if I can get you a shot, but what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to use some type of vice grip or clamp to clamp that piece so it doesn't move, so I can remove this piece. That's the only way, because I'm already committed. You gotta do it now. Let me pause and do that. I need two hands. Alright, so this is the piece that's rotating as I'm going to try to loosen this bolt. Watch it. You see that? That is not supposed to happen. Alright, so hopefully we don't have to change the whole housing as a result. I mean, I remember I changed this housing a few months ago, about a year ago. And I got a good brand. I thought it was a, I don't know what brand I bought, but it was from Rock Auto. It was a good brand too, so very surprising. Alright, so we overcame that. As you can see, we got a gap now. What I've done is I've used this guy right here, and I've used screwdriver, and I put the screwdriver on the corner right there because I know this impact is very strong and fast, so before it has time to spin on me, with just a little bit of tension right here on this side, I was able to spin it out. So yeah, I think this, like I said, it was a Gates part or something like that, but that's kind of wacky. Anyway, what's up guys? Today we got a 2011 Audi Q7. The customer complaint is check engine light and car seems to be overheating, especially when they come to a stop. So just got here, plug in the computer. That's the code that we have, P0481. Cooling fan 2 control circuit. So it may be a straightforward code, like, you know, it just means that the fan is bad, and all we need to just replace the fan. But you know, of course, we gotta diagnose it. You know, that's just kind of how it goes. So yeah, 159, 199. So about 40 miles ago, maybe a couple days. Temperature was that. You know, RPM data. But it was definitely operating temperature, no doubt about it. Not sure. I'm just going to delete it now because when I'm going to do some actuation tests, maybe with the code being on, it would not allow us to do so. So let's get out of here. Let's go to active test. Turn off the engine. Turn on the ignition. Do you want to continue? Okay, yes. Press start and okay. ECM power relay. That's not what I'm looking for. It's kind of crazy. Okay, well, let's do that. But that's not what I want. I want to turn on the fan. You see, that's why sometimes it sucks to work on all kinds of cars, because that is what it is. You almost gotta, every manufacturer has their own protocols, and so I have nothing that that's crazy. Okay, well, let's go to let's go to air conditioning. Maybe there is something under air conditioning to the condenser fan. Trouble codes, maybe. None. Okay. Let's go to active test. Heated rear window. That's it. Wow, it really doesn't give us much of anything here. as far as active test is concerned. Let's go to engine control module 2. Maybe there's something, okay. That one is not communicating, maybe it doesn't exist. Oh, I don't know. That sucks. Nothing. Nothing. Alright, let me just do an auto scan. In case I missed something. And not sure what the CASE stands for. I was just watching Mario's video early on and he was making reference to it. I think it has to do maybe with the starting system, maybe, I'm not sure. But definitely I'm not seeing anything to do with what I'm looking for, which is a means of actuating the fan to just cut down on diagnostic time, pretty much. So now I gotta pull up a wiring diagram and check powers and grounds and locate the fuels or relay going to that fan and make sure I can make it work some type of way and check that I get power at the fan, and if I get power at the fan is not turning on, end of diagnosing. We need a fan assembly, and it costs pretty high. I think it was around $500 for this fan. Oh boy, that's a lot of codes. They go to report. Let's see what they want to see. Alright, access start authorization switch faulty. Okay, so the CASE definitely is the starting system there somewhere. Okay, but we don't have this issue. I know for sure that the car just started when I came in. Then we have in the climate unit, the rear, a mechanical malfunction. In the sound system, we got the open circuit in the bass speaker. We don't care about that. TPMS. Door electronics. Roof shade module, no signal communication. Okay. What else? Alright, so I'm going to erase all of that. Obviously nothing pertaining to what I'm doing here, so let's just go ahead and erase all of the codes and look for something relevant. I'm not going to spend too much time, I guess, today here behind the wheel. It doesn't seem like it's going to allow me to do that type of diagnosing. I mean, look at this. Literally, you should be going to active test. There should be a fan option there. That's just insane that that's not even there. Okay, what is adaptation maybe? I don't know. Input the channel number. Okay, I don't know what that means. Advanced ID. What is this crap? Oh boy. We're going to go to live data. At least, hopefully they have a commanded state. I mean, what is this? That's why I love Japanese cars. Just straightforward. Straightforward. Alright, let's see if I have anything to do with the fan. Alright, let's look at these two codes. Those two pits. Man, that is so many different pits in here. You will swear you can diagnose every single issue right from the driver's seat if you know what you're doing, because that kind of information is crazy. Yeah, I'm not sure half of them what they really mean. So, that is quite an exhaustive list of PIDs. But still nothing to do with my radiator fan. And that's, there you go. Fan 1 activation, fan after run, AC readiness again, AC compressor, refrigerant pressure, AC fan request. I'm gonna grab all that and then I'll go ahead and, but we have an issue with the fan number 2. So I hope that is in there. What I saw just now was fan 1. That's the end of the list. All right, let's go back up slowly. Maybe we did miss it. That's what I like about the other scan tool, where they have a search feature. I mean, that's awesome. You can just search for the pit that you need to, so instead of doing this. So, fan 1, activation duty cycle. Where's fan 2? It shouldn't have been right next to it. Wouldn't it be sensible to do it like that, right? But no. Of course not. Let me decrease this. Well, actually, I'm not bad. That's good enough right there. So that'll save my battery life. I don't know how long I'm going to be here for today. Just trying to figure this thing out. But please, it would be nice if I had a fan. Cooling temperature, we always need that. Alright. Thankfully, the fan is very easy access on this car. I don't think it's even bolted. It just looks like it's just clipped on. So that's a pretty quick, easy repair if it needs to be replaced. The bulk of the job is going to be just to be 100%. That's what's wrong with it. If we do not have a feed problem or a ground problem, that's about it. Or maybe a computer problem for the duty cycle. That's the gist of this job. But yeah, I don't see anything about that fan. Number 2 fan. It's kind of bonkers. So maybe it's under some type of HVAC control unit. Maybe that's where I will find that information. Who knows? Fan number 2 circuit. But either way, I'm not sure why I don't have a way of turning the fan on. I mean, this is so much electronics. You will swear, like I said, you could access that information. Cooling temperature sensor. Being able to control your fan. I mean, every car does that. Where is that function? It's crazy. It's time to buy a new scanner. Man, how many cooling temperature do you have? Like, all of these things that keep repeating themselves. I got a screen full of stuff. Anyway, I'm gonna start it up. Huh? Okie dokie. Alright. Right now, fan activation duty cycle is at 10%, which sometimes means that it's not on at all. That's kind of like at 0. The coolant temp is climbing pretty rapidly. Literally went from 130 to 140 in like 3 seconds. But I think it's still not. We got 150 psi on the high side. Today's hot and it's very humid, so that might be correct. Otherwise, I would think it's a little bit overcharged, but it's pretty hot and humid right now. I think we're at 100 degrees right now. Let me see if I have any. 95 degrees, okay. And then very humid right now. Okie dokie. So fan activation is still at 10%. Right there. I'm gonna turn the compressor on and I'm gonna see if that fan comes on. On the computer. Fan activated duty cycle 70%. AC readiness on. Compressor is on. Okay. Now pressures go on to 211, 197, which is good pressures right now actually. Alright, cool. Alright. Duty cycle down to 41%. Alright, let's go see if we see anything moving there. This fan is working. They both working. Isn't this odd? Fan is working. I'm just going to show you using this. Okay, let's look at the one down there. So yeah, the fan is definitely working. Not sure. Maybe it's working and fading intermittently, maybe. I don't know which one is fan 1 and fan 2. Maybe it refers to the same set of fans. It just means maybe the functions, maybe. One is just for the radiator. I mean, one is in the coolant temperature sensor circuit, and the other one might be just for the compressor circuit. But fan is working. Fan request from AC system 50%. Activation duty cycle 50%, 51%. So yeah, I'm not sure. Coolant temperature sensor 185. Okay. But there was a code in there, so maybe it's time for me to go check out the code and see. It could also be something that fails when it gets warm. So maybe by running this after some time, we'll get to that point where it will just stop working. Especially when it comes to modules and electric motors, that is often how they fail. They fail when they are being stressed. So maybe right now, since we just had it on, it may be working intermittently. So I'm just gonna stop the video for now so it doesn't become too long, and I'm gonna observe these states, maybe even take it for a test drive, and then in the meantime look for the code definition and setting criteria and whatnot, because it does say it's a circuit code, so I'm not sure why it's not present all the time. So we're gonna find out, and then I will bring you guys back and we'll see what it is that we need to do. What's going on, guys? So I just left the customer house. As it stands, I wasn't able to duplicate the symptom, The check engine light, even though it is in memory, but it is not a check engine like in a dash, so it's not something steady. I mean, it did say sporadic and passive in the description of the code, but I was not able to duplicate it. The car ran fine. What he explained to me was this overheating situation happened when he was basically at a stop. He stopped for about maybe 5-10 minutes, he said, and then he noticed that. So I was there for this about 20-25 minutes, and the car was running most of the time. I ran the car with the AC, I ran the car without the AC. You know, all the different scenarios that he mentioned, we tried them, and I could not duplicate it. I mean, even without the AC on, the temperature would not go past a certain level, and it will come back down. So, which lets me know that the cooling system is sound. I mean, the water pump is, you know, doing what it's supposed to do, and the thermostat is definitely not hanging up. And so, you know, one of those kind of difficult to diagnose. And even when I went to Identifix and type the code, nothing comes up. I've seen some description doing a Google search. I may link it in the video, and it talks about, you know, overheating situation. I'm like, okay, well, you know, obviously the car was overheating, he said, so that would explain that. But as far as the temperature sensors themselves, or sensor, I'm not sure how many, I think it has 2 of them. They were reporting properly the entire time. Nothing, I didn't see a glitch, you know, something just moving erratically. So it becomes kind of difficult to call this type of situation, because what is it now, right? Is it, and I told him now, just drive the car. If it ever happens again, just call me right away so I can direct you what to do. Basically, I want to see that the fan is on at that point or not. And if the fan is off when it's overheating, when it's supposed to be on, because, you know, most likely it's going to have the AC on, well, then we know that the fan module has failed, and it will just intermittently fail, basically. And then we can just go ahead and call the fan. But if the fan is still working properly and the car is still overheating, then we're going to go towards a restriction, i.e. Maybe the thermostat is hanging up. It's getting stuck in a closed position. It's not too much I can do. We're going to have to just use the part scanner when it comes to that, and take it from there. Anyway, guys, not trying to make this too long. I got an alternative job to do, which I'm not probably going to film. It's extremely hot, and that car is outside, so, and not in the shade either. So we're going to go on an Acura 2012, do that job, and call it a day. Have a beautiful weekend, beautiful day.